for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this blight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk.
Listening to Reignite, a podcast about how having a crush is literally the worst thing that can happen to you. I'm Frankie.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
Aveline, Captain of the Guard, has an important favor to ask of us. Deliver a gift to one guardsman, Donnic. Weird, but okay. Donnic is just as baffled as we are. On top of that, Aveline has him working in easy patrol, which isn't what someone who takes his job seriously would want. Before Aveline can give Donnic's mother some goats and call it a day, we convince her there are easier and less confusing ways to go about this. Will Aveline win the guy?
Yeah, this was, so I didn't remember this quest at all. Like, even a little bit.
Shocking.
And, yeah, I know. But also, I don't know that I liked it. It's, I have complicated feelings about it. I think from a gameplay perspective and from a story writing perspective. I don't know if you have any early thoughts.
Okay. As far as structure goes, I think it is interesting that we are doing something that is a lot more social forward, because it's something different. It's not go here, kill a bunch of guys, and be talked at. It gives us something a little different that we're doing.
Right.
Like, there is back and forth, which is basically the function of any game. It's just you're moving from point A to point B and completing task C, right?
Right.
And that is the formula, no matter how you paint it. Like, whether that task is shooting a bunch of guys, whether it's delivering some flowers, it's all the same stuff that we're essentially doing. But framing it as more of a social mission makes us think about it a little bit differently. So I think that it is interesting. I don't think that it was the best execution.
Yeah. I mean, I will say from the top that I do love Guardsman Donnic. I think he is charming and I like his character.
I think he's a solid dude.
Yeah. What I don't like is just kind of how this is structured. Again, I think the writing is kind of strange. Like, I think it's, on the one hand, it's fun to show one of the characters who is kind of hardened and, like, immovable to be completely flustered and, like, dorky. You know, it reminds me of a lot of the stuff we encounter with Garrus in the later games of Mass Effect, right? That he seems like this hardened vigilante, but then when it comes to talking about his feelings, he becomes like a goofball. But it did just feel very, I don't know, something about the writing just felt off to me for this. And I think maybe it's just because they were trying to play it up as more comedy than something serious that maybe did it. I'm not sure. It felt out of place maybe based on all of the other side missions we did. It's nice to have something different as far as tone to break things up. But when basically every other side mission has been very serious and deep and talk about the character's past and the trauma, and then this be kind of goofy and airy and kind of nothing compared, it just feels very weird tonally with the rest of the side missions, because there's no other side mission that gets this goofy. It would have been nice if maybe one or two of the other characters also had something lighter like this. Then it would feel like a nice balance of give and take instead of just something completely out of left field.
Or, this just came to mind, a different way to have gone about this is you could have taken a serious track, but instead of Aveline being so clueless as to how to flirt with someone and how to indicate her interest in them, have it be Aveline suspects something is up with him and is going through the turmoil of, oh, but I like him, but what if he's suspicious? I don't want to be betrayed again by someone that I trust.
Right.
You know, and like have it seem like it's going to be serious, but in the end subvert that with, oh, it turns out that he was just trying to figure out how to ask her out on a date.
Yeah.
Like, it turned out that you're both idiots who like each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were like, again, I'm not gonna be an armchair game dev. We didn't make this game, but like it is,
Right.
it does seem like there was a more consistent way to go about this. But that said, again, it was harmless if nothing else, and like there were some, like I've never felt more connected to my hawk than in this mission, because I would have reacted absolutely the same way as I reacted in this game, even the
Yeah.
scripted stuff. I think I've encountered moments like this with friends and just basically been frustrated and shook my head a lot.
I literally had this happen to me last night.
So let's get into specifics. So we're called to Aveline's office. She wants help. She needs us to deliver something to Guardsman Donick. She won't tell us what. She won't tell us why. And she says, ask no questions. At which point my hawk asks 2 more questions.
I did too.
And she's basically like, I thought I just said don't ask questions.
She was like, you were breaking the rule about asking questions. Why are you like this? I was like, I don't know.
I don't know.
You've known me for like 5 years. What do you think?
Yeah. And so that writing I thought was very good because, it, like I said, I never felt more like my hawk than in that moment, because I too, if someone said, all right, here, do this thing, no questions asked, my first question would be like, okay, but why?
Like, I'm gonna have to ask you some questions. I know you don't want me to, but
No questions asked is you saying to me, actually ask me lots of questions because I'm hiding something. That's what that means.
yeah, right? Exactly. So we walk over all of 10 feet
Yeah.
to Guardsman Donick, who is one room over, and we give him this package. And I'm like, I have it on good authority that you'll like this.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it's a plate with marigolds on it. Oh, and it also says that they're marigolds. How helpful.
Yeah.
Just like, why did you do this? Why did
Yeah.
you give this to me?
He's confused, and we like excuse ourselves and go back to Aveline and basically share the information, and she begins to spiral a little bit. And I didn't ask you, who did you bring for this mission? I brought Meryl, Fenris, and Anders.
Oh my god, I was Rogue Squad. So me, Isabella, Varric, and Anders.
And it's at one point during the second conversation with Aveline that Meryl blurts
Actually,
out.
wait. Actually, it was just me.
Uh-huh.
I went by myself
Oh.
for the conversation. I forget why I did that. I was like, I don't feel like picking anyone. Like, I know that I'm just talking to her, and I'll
Yeah.
pick up people when we're actually, like, going out. Because I forgot that the first few steps are just, like, right there.
Right.
So it was just me. And then when we had to relocate, that's when I picked up everyone.
Got it. I brought everyone. Well, I had originally brought Meryl, Anders, and Aveline with me, but once you go into this mission, Aveline is removed from your party, so I
Right.
added Fenris. But during the second conversation, as Aveline's flustered and talking about goats and betrothal, Meryl goes, "Oh, you're like him. Oh, this is too cute," and like starts to like call Aveline out, which just makes it worse for Aveline. It's
Yeah.
very funny.
There is a conversation that I have with her where she says, well, how do you and Anders do it? Did she comment on you and anyone in particular?
No,
Mm-hmm. She knows that you got nothing going on.
that's true. I haven't committed to anything yet. Indecisive.
Have you
unsurprisingly.
flirted with her throughout this?
Aveline? No, not once.
Okay.
Not my type.
Mm.
The whole wanting to kill kill mages thing also
Yeah.
kind of puts a damper on it.
But also you like redheads. So, like,
I do.
I thought it could go either way.
I like short redheads. We'll get to that in a later game, but not so much Aveline. Aveline's not my type.
Okay. Felicia Day will show up and it'll be fine.
Exactly. I can't remember if you can flirt with Felicia Day or not. I assume
You can flirt with Felicia Day.
Okay. Then I
I
probably
wish we could
will.
get Felicia Day for our podcast.
I mean, we haven't tried. There's, it's possible. Once we map out that DLC, I'll look into it. I don't know that it's possible, but it's worth a shot.
We should have a secondary podcast called We Will Get Felicia Day onto our podcast.
Exactly, right?
Just follow the McElroy's example. That's how they got into Trolls 2.
Exactly.
All right. So I lost my train of thought for a second there because I got distracted talking about Felicia Day. But yes, she asks about Anders because she wants to know how we make it work with like living dangerous lives. Because that's one of her concerns, is that she has to care about the safety of her people. But also one of her concerns is a very valid one, power dynamics.
Yeah, of course.
Because she is the captain of the guard. So being romantically interested in someone that is in her like care is a very tricky thing, especially since she's a woman.
Right.
You know, women are often accused of sleeping with their authority figures in order to further their station along. The only way you can get the success that you have is because you slept your way to the top. Whereas Aveline is kind of flipping it. But she knows that that is the perception for a lot of people. So that is something that she fears. But then she also plays into it.
Yes, and because, like, even though it's her fear, she also asks us to post a guardsman roster for her and listen. Again, not letting us ask many questions. And when we do, Donnic and another guardswoman come over, and Donnic starts to catch shit for getting one of the easy routes for no reason, which is a route, like, that's not really difficult, but also is seen as like a soft post for guards, where like if you're working that, you're either kissing the head of the guard's ass or you did something, right? Like no one gets that posting just because someone wants to be nice, even though ironically that's exactly why he's getting it right now.
Right. So she's showing favoritism in this moment, but Donnic is actually really pissed about it. He's like, no, I'm like doing something important. I don't want to do that. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah,
that's what lazy people do.
He wants like a real guardsman post, and it just whatever Aveline was trying to do to like show him kindness completely backfires.
Yeah. I just love that Donnic sees getting something easy to do is a punishment.
Yeah.
Like, did I like fuck up so badly that you just don't want me to do this?
Which is truthfully a mood, and if I got something like that, I would also do the same. Like, oh no, why is this so easy? Does somebody hate me? Am I bad?
Like, why did you take me away from the thing that I cared about?
Basically, yeah.
Sweet Donnic. Sweet, good Donnic. After that, and we show her, hey, buddy, this is not happening. I sassed her, and she did not like that. I got more rivalry out of Aveline.
Oh, same.
Throughout this thing than friendship.
Yeah, same.
So we finally convince her, like, hey, maybe this isn't the place to be doing this. Maybe you take this out of the office, so to speak, into a casual place where you're just people. You're not guardsmen. You're not the captain of the guard. You're just Aveline. He's just Donnic. And you can have a casual conversation. Which is the way to go.
Yes. And she agrees under one condition. We can't tell him anything still. We have to invite him as if we want to grab drinks with Donnic. And also suggest the Hangman where all our friends hang out, which, like, I don't know if I was going to do this. The last place I'd want to do this is in a public place where my friends are.
See, I disagree with that. And this could be a, like, gender socialization thing.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like if I were trying to like gauge someone's interest in me, I'd want to be in a public place where I can like kind of feel safe.
Yeah.
And also have my friends and people that I trust around, so that way if it doesn't go well or if he turns out to be a dirtbag, I have my friends nearby.
Right.
Where I can turn to them and be like, okay, this is not going well. Please help me.
That's fair. I think the former, like, I do want it to be in a public place. I meant the latter, like, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of my friends.
Well, yeah, because your friends are awful and they make fun of you.
I mean, I'm talking to one of them right now.
I know, but I would not make fun of you in a situation like this. I would be there for you because I love romance and I want everybody to be happy.
Fair enough. But yeah, so we have to invite Donick out for drinks, but not tell him it's actually with. Well, how it ends up going is you can choose a couple of different ways. And what I said is, I'm inviting all the guardsmen out. We're all going to grab drinks together. It's going to be a group thing. Are you coming? Like, you basically, it's not Hawk's idea, but Hawk's like passing the message along, like, all the guards are going to go out for drinks. Do you want to come? And Donick's like, I didn't hear about this. Sure, why not? And all the guardsmen, as we quick cut to the hanged man, is you and Donick at a table just sitting there staring at each other.
It's so awful. And I'm like, this is not good. It really should have been like, hey, Aveline and I are going out for drinks. Do you want to come with us?
Yeah. Agreed.
Because then you're moving into that casual space.
Yeah, but Aveline doesn't want her presence known because then she can't back out like a coward, which she ends up doing, but we'll get to that.
Which she does.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, awkward, this is painful, and ugh in succession. I don't know to which parts they're about, but probably all of them.
I also wrote awkward. Like I said, I grabbed Isabella, Varric, and Anders because I thought they'd be my best friends for such a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is right up Varric's alley, basically.
I kind of wish that this scene, instead of awkwardness between Donick and Hawk, had been like you and your party sitting with Donick and everyone being like, so you work for Aveline, huh?
Yeah.
And just like passing comments about Aveline just to kind of like test the waters for her.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't like this implication that they create. How does it go with you after Aveline bails?
I think it's just, it gets awkward and Donick gets frustrated and leaves.
Okay. So when Donick gets up to leave for me, he's like, look, you're not my type. I don't like this playing shy. I like someone who's more direct. And I'm like, I could murder you.
Yeah.
Do you not see my full-ass boyfriend standing right next to me?
I mean, technically not. He's not in the scene. But, he gets up and says something similar, not in a relationship-y way. I guess he's straight, which is unfortunate, but is what it is. And says basically
There's gotta be a few of them in the world.
Right. He says, look, I like you well enough, Hawk. You're a good guy. This is not the best way to go about curating a friendship. He basically says, like, this was nice. It was great to grab a couple of drinks, but, like, I've got stuff to do, and I don't know that I would have come if it was just the two of us. No hard feelings. I just thought this was something else, and then kind of walks off.
Which, fair.
He's annoyed. He's totally
Donick
annoyed.
is not in the wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Donick is precious. We love Donick. He's done no wrong here. We've been manipulating him the whole time. Except
for with me being like, look, you're not my type. Buddy?
I'm gonna kill you.
This is my boyfriend and my boyfriend's emotional support spirit. Or emotional destruction spirit. I don't know.
Support. I use the term support very loosely.
Yes. But here's the thing about having Isabella in my group when Aveline comes over and she's like, I just couldn't do it. Isabella's so pissed and she's like, I swear to God, if you do not make a move on this guy, I'm gonna fuck him.
That's something Isabella would say.
Well, yeah, because she's also annoyed. She's like, you're wasting our time.
Yeah.
And Isabella's also very much like, we have to get, like, she does not waste time. She does not dance around things.
No, absolutely not.
And I don't think that this is Isabella being intolerant of someone being shy. I think it is her being frustrated that Aveline is letting herself like succumb to fear.
Yeah, I mean, Aveline, canonically, if this group is one of the bravest characters, is always stepping forward, no matter what it is, even if it's nonsense that Hawk has gotten her into that she wants nothing to do with. She still steps forward and like will protect the group and do what it takes. And so for her to be so kind of flustered by this, I don't think any of my party members spoke up, but I expressed frustration. Basically demanding that you can't pull this shit again. Whatever we do next, like, you've got to own up. And convincing her that her friends will have her back, right? Like, we're in your corner. It's funny. There's one phrase, like, when you talk to her here, there are two choices, and one is a little more aggressive, like, come hell or high water, I'm going to make you kiss that man, basically. Or the other one's more supportive, like, your friends and I have your back. And like, one gets you rivalry, the other gets you friendship.
Yeah.
And it's just very interesting that they took that binary, like that choice that's not even binary. It's one choice. Like, the result is the same, but it's how you word it that affects the what you get with Aveline.
Right. I actually got Isabella rivalry for agreeing with Isabella, because Isabella said, like, if you do not fucking do this, I'm gonna fuck him. And Aveline's like, well, what next? I was like, I think that kind of like presses the issue. Like, Isabella's gonna fuck him if you don't do something, so you have to do something.
Yeah.
And Aveline like agrees with me, and then I get rivalry from Isabella. I'm like, I'm on your side.
I agreed with you, damn it.
Why are you mad at me?
Yeah. I did, of course, take the more supportive route and be like, look, we've got your back, but you have to do something. We can't keep doing this. And got the only friendship I've gotten with Aveline in like 8 missions, because we just don't see eye to eye, me and Aveline. But anyway, so Aveline concocts this plan for us to go to the Wounded Coast and patrol ahead of her and Donick, so we can clear out whoever, so they can just have a peaceful chat and walk around together. And this results in us going to the Wounded Coast and fighting a bunch of baddies, and then cutting to cutscenes where Donick and Aveline are talking. And my biggest question during the section on the Wounded Coast is why do they make us fight so many doggos? Why?
Right?
Why?
I hate fighting Mabari.
I just don't understand. Why?
Why are we fighting Mabari?
Why are we fighting them?
Like, they're just dogs. They're just dogs. They're doing their best. I would rather not kill them. But no, you make me. Because if I don't, then they'll kill me. And I'd rather not die.
Yeah. And how this mission goes is there are waves of enemies, and then it'll cut to a cutscene of Donick and Aveline talking, and it going very poorly. And then your Hawk shaking their head, because it's just painful.
Oh my god. My favorite quote from this whole mission is Aveline saying, "It's a nice night for an evening."
God. Painful.
That's so painful, Aveline. What are you doing?
I think at one point I said out loud, sitting at my computer at the same time as Hawk said, "Ugh, awkward."
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. The only funny part, like, the whole time Meryl's having the time of her life. She's giddy with joy at how ridiculous the situation is. And so at one point, I think after the patrol is over, before you go back to Aveline's office, she just blurts out, "You two are adorable. Kiss already." And it's just a very Meryl line.
Isabella says, "Take a hint and bend her over a basin."
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have brought you.
Yeah, maybe you're inappropriate for all public consumption.
And Donick is like, I have to go.
Yeah, basically says, like, he understands what's going on. Is like, I should go. And Aveline, of course, is now freaking out.
She's so mad at us.
Yeah, she's like, why did you do that? Why'd you get involved? I told you not to get involved.
she says, I thought we were friends, and something that I agree with, friends sometimes push. And yes, I do think that friends sometimes push.
Yeah.
I think that you have to be very careful in knowing the difference between being pushy and encouraging and like
Mhm.
trying to help them push past something that is limiting them. Like, I have this friend who has been trying to re-engage with romance and intimacy, and she had a really hard time. She had a really bad breakup with a friend recently, and she had this feeling of like, well, if I can't date a friend, someone that I trust so deeply, and not come out of it without betrayal, then like, how can I date anyone?
Right.
You know? And I have been having to find that line of like pushing her out of her shell and not being pushy at her
Yeah.
and pushing her into things that are just too much too soon. So it requires a lot of check-in of like, hey, this is my advice to you. This is what I think would be helpful, but this is just advice. You do not have to do these things.
Yeah. I, as someone who had tried to play matchmaker many a time in high school and early college, and it almost never going well, I gave up that life. If I see a friend, for the most part, crushing on someone and they're being this painfully awkward, I will probably be very sarcastic and not unsupportive, but like just frank. Because like playing the cutesy matchmaker, oh, I should help. Like, I can't. Just fuck that. Like, own up and talk to them or not.
I am not a cutesy matchmaker. I'm like a business manager.
Basically, yes.
So I see you are having an issue. Let me see who I can pair you up with to alleviate this trouble for you. Like, I matched up Tina and Adam, and I was just like, this feels right. I didn't even really do anything. I just kind of put them in the same room and like kind of maneuvered myself so they had to sit near each other.
Right.
And I like watched it play out. And then when Tina left the room, Adam said, so what's Tina's deal? And I was
Amazing.
like, excellent. And then I checked in with Tina just to make sure that like my instincts were on point. And Tina was like, he's really cute. I was like, excellent. So I am more pragmatic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's not like cupids and angels and hearts everywhere.
No.
It's like no, this is a project.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Aveline is devastated and worried that she screwed everything up, but goes back to the office and tells you to meet her there. So we
Why
can.
are we being punished? This is
I know.
not
She's
our
like,
fault.
yeah. She basically says, "Meet me in my office. You're in trouble." And it's like, I'm just trying to help because you asked. This is your fault, not mine. But anyway, when we do go back to Aveline's office, before we go in, we do hear giggling and laughter from behind the door.
Before that, she's losing her fucking mind.
Yeah.
And like your conversation with her can feel supportive.
Oh yeah.
I went sass because I was like, I am so mad at you.
Yeah.
Because you dragged me into this, and now you're giving me shit because you asked me for help and you didn't like the help that I gave you. That's not my fault.
Yeah, correct.
Like, this is all on you. So I did not get a lot of friendship from Aveline.
No, yeah, I sassed her here too, and she was not happy about it.
But Donick shows up and asks to speak with her privately.
Oh,
we
yes,
get
that's
shooed
right.
away.
That's right. Yeah.
So there are giggles from inside the office. And later we find out that Donick did not file a complaint.
Yes. Apparently, that this did, despite Aveline's best efforts, end up going well. And there seems to be a spark of something here, though we're not quite sure yet.
Yeah. She says, like, be honest, was there a point where you thought I was beyond help? I was just like, please be very glad that it didn't get to that point.
Yeah, I basically also sassed her there. I was like, I could have said, no, of course not. I adore you, but I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I just sassed her there.
I was like, you don't want to know the truth, Aveline.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, buddy. You are a monogamous person, but I'm sure that doesn't rule out the possibility of crushes developing, whether you act on them or not.
No, of course not. I mean, I think it's normal for human beings to crush on other human beings. I mean, 90% of celebrity infatuation is just that. Like every straight man who says they're straight but has a huge crush on Pedro Pascal are not 100% straight.
I have not met one straight man who is about Pedro Pascal. That has been all feminine dominated on my feed.
Interesting.
For me, the straight men are all about Ryan Reynolds.
Well, yeah, Ryan Reynolds is like everybody loves Ryan Reynolds. It doesn't matter what your parts are. Like that doesn't barely counts anymore. That's like a given. Breathing, eating, and crushing on Ryan Reynolds.
That's fair. But Pedro Pascal is also amazing.
Yes, incredible.
I do love him. I want to give him a hug.
Basically, yes. I mean, also every
and
time
also a blankie.
Yeah, right. Sarah and I want to see The Materialists, which is the new movie with Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
And you talking about being a business-like matchmaker reminded me of that, because that's basically what Dakota Johnson is playing in that movie, is like a very businessy matchmaker kind of person who then, I'm guessing, falls for these two men or whatever. But
yes, polyamory.
But my guess is the movie's going to make her choose, because it was not made by queer people, I don't think. But
I don't know. Challengers came out.
I didn't see it, yeah, I know.
So when was the last time you had a crush that made you like this fucking stupid?
I don't know. It's hard to remember. It's been a long time, because like when I met Sarah, it was after our relationship kind of imploded, and I was so tired of bullshit, because both of us had kind of given each other the runaround in the end, that like I was so frustrated that I basically laid everything out when Sarah and I started dating. Like I lied about not wanting a relationship. We both did, because we were like, I'm tired of shit. I don't want to commit to anything yet, which was so untrue, because then we dated each other consistently for like a month as if we were dating, even though we kept not wanting to put a label on it. But I don't know. I mean, probably college. I can't think of anything specific at this point. I'm also old and in my 40s. So
that's true. You're ancient. Yeah. Falling apart at the seams. Honestly, I think the last time that I was like genuinely stupid about a crush was John.
Okay.
And I think I learned a lot from that crush scenario.
Yeah.
That now when I have a crush going forward, I think also in a way being polyamorous helps, because I have a lot of practice in managing my feelings.
Yeah.
So, and I have a lot of practice in communication as part of the relationship practice, which is not to say that communication is not vital to monogamy, which it is, but there is a lot of it when it comes to polyamory. There's a lot more people that you have to communicate with. So you get a lot of extra practice, I would like to say. So I think really the last time that I was a big dumb idiot person was when John and I were getting together. That saga. But I did develop a crush very recently that imploded in my face. I had seen this girl at the bar, and she was like one of the most stunning people I had ever seen in my life. And I went up to her and I told her that with the intention of being like, okay, have a good night, bye, and running away. Because, awkward. But she like had me stay and talk to me, and she was like, I'm gonna ditch my friends and come hang out with you. And then like we talked and we flirted and we exchanged numbers and things were going really well. But then like she told me that her partner had passed away and she just wasn't ready for like hookups or relationships or anything like that. And I was like, you know what? That's totally cool. I still enjoy talking to you. I would like us to be friends. And she was like, yeah, friends. Great. Perfect. And then at like 1:30 in the morning, she decided to block me on everything and just completely cut me out as a friend.
That's very strange.
Right? And I'm just like, I have no idea what I did wrong. And, crushes be like that. Like, they seem innocuous and they seem fine, and you get a little crazy for a little bit because communication is hard and scary. because like I couldn't tell if we were flirting or not after a minute. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, I need us to like have a very honest communication here and now. And that's when she told me that she just wasn't ready for things. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I needed to know that so that way I can manage my expectations. So like we're just friends and that is awesome. But I don't know.
I mean, also that's something that in a modern tech age that like it's totally fair for you to be upset if someone does that to you. However, you have no right to hunt them down or find out why. They owe you
Oh, yeah.
nothing. And this is not directed at you, it's directed at our audience if they don't know this, which of course they do because we have a very great audience. But
Yes.
just broadly for my own peace of mind, yeah, I've come across multiple people like pursuing specifically women who block them on socials, making new accounts, whatever, to try and find out why. It's none of your business. If they blocked you, there's a reason. They have it. You don't have to like it, but it's also you aren't owed answers.
Yes, nobody owes you closure.
Correct.
What I had done, and hopefully nobody judges me for this, was here in the UK, the primary mode of messaging is WhatsApp
Uh-huh.
rather than direct number-to-number messaging. Like
That makes sense.
Things are kind of different here. So I sent her a normal text message because she had blocked me on WhatsApp and blocked me on Facebook. And I just sent a normal message to be like, hey, I noticed this. If I did something to like damage our friendship, I'm very sorry. I don't know what happened, but just to kind of be like, are we cool or no? And if she
Right.
wanted to answer it, she could answer it, or she could just leave me on red, whatever. Like, at least I like put it out there in the world, like, hello?
Yeah.
And she did follow up, and what she said was not actually accurate.
Uh-huh.
Because she said, oh, I deleted everything. I was like, okay, you didn't, but cool. So, which told me that she just didn't want to be my friend.
Right. Doesn't want to talk to you, which is
So-
fine. Yeah.
Which was enough. Which is like, okay, cool. You said what you said, and I know what I know, and I can do that math. And it
Yeah.
is not fun math, but I can do it.
Yeah. Well,
So, you know what? Not every crush works out.
no, that's for sure. Yeah, I think part of my difficulty with remembering a crush that made me stupid, which I'm sure there were more of in high school, which was a long time ago, is because I've also, and Frankie knows this, mostly face planted from relationship to relationship. I don't
That's
date.
true.
I don't date much. I haven't been involved in the dating scene that much. Most of the women that I've dated, I've then gone on to longer term relationship with. I've only had a couple of one night stands, and I've only had male one night stands. I've never dated anyone who's male or non-binary. Well, I guess technically, retroactively.
Technically, you have dated someone who you
Retroactively.
pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered. Yeah, retroactively I have, but at the time neither of us were. So, anyway. But that said, so I also have just less life experience. It's very funny. I have a lot of friends now through guests who've been on the show that I've met through the games industry or other podcasters who are much younger than me, in their late 20s, early 30s. And quite a few of them are single and just trying to navigate apps and other things. And it's like reading a foreign language. Like
Curse the apps.
I just don't understand the plight of trying to date as a queer or straight
Yeah.
person on apps in this modern era. I'm so glad I didn't have to. I missed that boat, and I've never been more happy. But it just always kind of feels like trying to interpret something from an alien race because I have no background or understanding for it. I can give advice based on like a vibe or like conversations, but like
Yeah.
I have no idea what to do with the different apps.
The apps, I'm telling you, the apps are going to be the ruin of like romance and like communication.
Yeah.
Because the only apps that people are very active on here are Tinder and I want to say Hinge and Bumble. And OkCupid, which was very popular back in the US, had a lot of options for queerness
Yeah.
and also allowed you to like filter out straight people so that way your pool was only queer people and only queer people could see you,
Right.
which I found to be very helpful, which meant any date that I went on, anyone that I matched with was a queer person. And
Right.
that makes all the difference when you're doing online dating because they understand what you're going through. Whereas here, there's just not the same flexibility.
Right.
There's really not a lot of communities for queer people. Like, I live in a fairly conservative area and country right now.
Right.
Like, it's much harder for me to find queer people to click with and to talk to them online. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And like Tinder is very much for people who just want to get laid.
Yeah, totally.
So, which is fine.
Yeah.
There is no judgment about that. Hey, I'm on some websites that are just for getting laid, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I know that that's what they're for.
Right.
And I don't use them to try and find relationships.
Right. That seems like it would be a failing formula.
Yeah, but like there just is no outlet for trying to build something that matters.
Right.
So, I don't know. Romance is struggling these days, my friend.
That's why we do it in video games.
Yes. It's the only way I can feel something. Because all the people that I love are in another country right now.
That's true. But you did do that to yourself, so it's hard to feel sorry for you.
It's very true.
You made this
But hey, I'm gonna be back in the States for 5 whole days.
When?
From the 9th to the 13th.
Of July?
Yes.
Okay, we should.
I'm gonna be in Arizona.
Oh, right. I forgot. That's not helpful to me.
You got so excited. You're like, oh, let's make a plan.
Yes, I want to hang out with you, but not if you're in
I know.
Arizona.
Well,
I go there often
yeah.
enough as it is, and
I don't want to hang out with myself in Arizona.
I mean, it's going to be very hot. Like, however
I
hot
know.
you think it'll be way
Happy
worse.
about it.
Yeah,
I
well,
know. I got myself a mini fan to carry around. Like, I'm so mad at my brother for getting
Smart.
married in Arizona.
I mean, doesn't he live there?
Yes, and I'm angry about it.
Okay, noted. Anyway, so that's Evelyn's mission. Moving on to fan mail this week.
Anathara, everyone. This is Callie, and here are some thoughts on episode 23, Meryl and Mirror Image. I was very curious and a little nervous about how this would go. I had forgotten some details, but remembered feeling quite sympathetic toward Meryl throughout her quests, and worried I might not this time. I liked the intro conversation. I default to trusting my friend's judgment, perhaps sometimes too much, until seeing evidence I should not. If Meryl thinks the Illuvion is repaired and safe, I have no reason to doubt her. I did want to hear from Marathari about why she was so against it, but find the idea that their ancestors meant it to be forgotten very unconvincing. I do not see why we should let dead people tell us what to do. It is worth listening to their ideas and arguments, but we should choose for ourselves. I agree that some things are dangerous enough that they should be forgotten, but the Illuvion is just a communication device. I still have not played Veilguard, and am still avoiding all spoilers. Approaching the camp, I had to think a bit about how to handle the Templars. If they want a fight, it would be easy to let them have one and feel no guilt for making them regret starting it. I like helping stand up to bullies. But then more of the bastards would follow. I decided it was worth trying to persuade them to leave Fainriel and the Dalish in peace. And for now, it worked. Indeed, I also expected more from Marathari. Offering no explanation and only condescending disapproval is not persuasive. Frankie, you say it is okay to not analyze everything you love to death, but I actually do not know how to switch off the analysis. Luckily, rather than killing things, it is what keeps my love for them alive. A small side note. It is possible for a city elf warden in Origins to have met Paul when he still lived in the Denerim alienage. Paul running was confusing and concerning, but Meryl's reaction made it easy for me to be on her side here. As the team healer, it was kind of heartbreaking to hear Meryl's desperate hope as she asks me to help him when there was nothing I could do. I liked your explanations for why Marathari in this second conversation is so off-putting. I had not quite understood why I was upset, but indeed, intentionally turning everyone against Meryl is awful. If Meryl did give up on the Illuvion and return, does Marathari think all that damage could simply be undone? If Marathari wanted me to refuse to help my friend, she really should have tried to explain why. Sometimes I trust the people I care about too much for my own good, but Meryl has given me no reason to doubt her. So far, Meryl seems reasonable to me, and it seems like Marathari and the clan simply fear blood magic, like the contemptible Chantry, and the Illuvion, which should be safe now that it is fixed. So I did not hesitate at all to give Meryl the Arulan home, not completely ignoring the possibility that I have made a mistake, and that Meryl is making a mistake. But at this point, it seems unlikely, and if so, we will deal with it. Fascinating that we think of blood magic so differently. Said before, I see it simply as a tool. In fact, I almost built my hawk to use blood magic as a healer and support mage. Perhaps there is an addictive element to it, even if simply because the agency it empowers is hard to resist or give up. Very curious to hear from fellow listeners about how they see it. I loved your discussion of respect for agency and how there is a difficult balance when someone we care about is or might be hurting themselves. It is a balance I do not know I am good at. I tend to assume they know themselves and what they can handle better than I do, and trust their judgment. But sometimes things that seem harmful from the outside actually are. Thank you both for sharing your experiences with drinking. Sounds like difficult times. We're very happy to hear you were able to leave excessive drinking behind. You are amazing and deserve to be proud of that. Frankie's mention of self-destructive impulses and feeling a need to make oneself suffer touched on something I am painfully familiar with, though it never took me in the direction of addiction. It is wonderful that those impulses are something you learned to recognize and resist. I know how impressive that is. Well done. Back to Meryl. I find it very endearing that she is committed to helping her people, even if they hate her for it. If we are truly dedicated to doing good, that is a burden we sometimes must bear. I do so with no hesitation, but some resentment, and kind of admire that Meryl is more gracious about it than I am. Role-playing an all-romantic version of myself necessarily involves some guessing, but I was not surprised it felt fitting to reciprocate Meryl's interest. It has been pointed out to me that I do have something resembling a type: kind, nerdy, thoughtful, weird. How the other party members treat Meryl after this quest has a significant impact on my opinion of each of them. Nobody gets to be mean to my close friends. Not even my close friends. As always, many thanks to Frankie and Matt for taking the time and effort to make Reignite. And remember, learn from the Dalish. Do not let Templars just walk in and abduct members of your community. Not violently, of course. I am not advocating for violence, even if all Templars are bastards.
Thank you, Callie, as always, for your awesome messages that you send. audio or otherwise. We love hearing your deep thoughts on this podcast. It's why we do this nonsense, is to engage in these deep conversations. And it's always nice to see other folks as nerdy as we are about it. So thank you for that. We also have a message from Ben from the Dragoon Effect. If you've not listened to the Dragoon Effect, it's a podcast at the intersection of mental health, let's play, and video games. And Ben is wonderful. Ben's done an episode of Side Quest for Fun and Games and has recently started listening to, I believe, just the Dragon Age season of Reignite, but does plan to go back and listen to the rest, and had lovely things to say about a lot of stuff, including they said, I love the style of episode 10 for DA2, very good. And then in the Discord, link to a similar thing that another show had done. And as I said in the Discord, and I will repeat here, that was all Frankie's idea. I said yes and went along for the ride. I did very little to no planning for that. And you can expect that there will be a part 2 at some point.
And 3.
And 3. And so we will continue it in that style. But I'm glad that you like that. It's fun to do things off the beaten path like that, and I'm sure we will do more of them in the future.
It forces me to flex my writing degrees.
Yes, of which you have too many.
I have 2.5.
Working on the other half.
Yeah. Oh, soon it will be 3.
Soon.
So soon. So soon. Speaking of that, Mo Willems came out with a new picture book, and it's called Will the Pigeon Graduate? And I feel victimized. I feel targeted. I feel attacked.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about things that make us happy.
Yes, please.
So here in Fandom Corner today, I have something to share. I binged this show in like 3 days. It's called Surreal Estate.
Uh-huh.
It was a sci-fi original. It was brought on to Hulu recently. It is about a real estate company, and they specialize in haunted houses. And when I say that, you probably think I'm talking about a reality TV show. No, this is fiction. It is dramatized. It is extremely good because it's just this team of little office misfits who are led by this one man who can hear and see ghosts, but he also is very passionate about real estate.
Yeah, I'm familiar with this show, though I have not watched really much of it, is because
it's really good.
For 2 reasons. One, Sarah was watching it, and so I would see it over Sarah's shoulder. And 2, the stars of it are 2 of the supporting cast from Schitt's Creek. Tim Rozon, who played one of the characters' boyfriends, and then Sarah Levy, the sister of Dan Levy and the daughter of Eugene Levy, was also played the person who ran the diner in the town in Schitt's Creek. And so I loved that show so much. And so when I saw that they were on another show, I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, I don't know that I'm going to watch this. But I
think you would enjoy it.
But I like that those 2 cast members. And again, I remember seeing it over Sarah's shoulder because Sarah, I think, watched all of it, if not most of it.
It was extremely good. The first season had really good pacing. You met some really great characters. There's a lot of empathy involved. It's not just like, let's destroy the ghosts. It's very, well, ghosts have different reasons for being here. So let's try and figure out why they're here before we make that snap judgment. And there's a lot of wholesomeness from the characters. The main guy, Luke Roman, he develops a crush on someone who's a client, and he's very much like, nope, can't do that. She's a client. I'm not going near that. And everyone's like, hey, it's different when you're consenting adults.
Yeah.
And he like really needed other people to step in and be like, it's okay, buddy. You're not being a creep. And it was just really nice. It was just really nice and wholesome. And the second season was so good, I could not stop watching it. Like, I needed to sit there until 3:00 in the morning until I was done with the second season. And also the third season was even better than that. Like, it just kept amping up and getting better and better in terms of storytelling. And I'm a huge fan. So if you like things that are spooky, if you like strong, powerful women being badass and awesome at what they do, if you like tongue-in-cheek office comedy, then check out Surreal Estate. It is available on Hulu. I don't know where else it plays. There you go. Hulu, you should sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly. While this isn't what I'm bringing for Fandom Corner, the only show I've been watching is Sarah and I are slowly making our way through the newest season of
Leverage Redemption.
Yeah, and it's very good.
Isn't it?
I sometimes forget though how cheesy it is. We just watched an episode that focused around Parker having to save Sophie. I won't say more than that in case other folks haven't seen it. But like halfway through the episode, I just thought to myself, wow, this is really cheesy. Like when Parker's running across the rooftops and it's clear that the actress is just kind of running against a green screen and doing little hops. And it was just very goofy, but I don't care. I still just love the show. Anyway.
Yeah, because that's not the point of Redemption. The point of Redemption is the parallels that it makes between the Leverage world and our real world.
Right.
Like, the people they attack are like real actual villains in our everyday life.
Oh yeah, when Sam Witwer turned up as a bad guy, I was like, yes, he's always so good as a bad guy. Good as a good guy too, but he's basically known for being the voice of Darth Maul these days, and so whenever he's an evil fucker, I'm like, yes. Anyway, more on Leverage Redemption once I finish the season. But the game that I brought today is all Ken Shepard's fault. If you've been on Blue Sky at all recently, you may have seen a lot of posting about Digimon, specifically the game Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Some of its resurgence in popularity is because there is a new game from the same studio coming later this year called Digimon Story Time Stranger. But this is a game that was originally on the PS Vita that then got re-released on all modern platforms. I had been wanting to play for a while because I grew up loving Digimon and Pokemon. You can like both, contrary to popular belief. And I also loved the movies and the early video games on the PlayStation, which were fine at best. And so I've been curious about jumping back into that world. And then with the upcoming release of Time Stranger, I think in October, Ken Shepard in our group chat started posting photos about how he was replaying it because he had played it before. And one of our friends wanted to play it, so it was on sale on Amazon for $25. So Ken bought him a copy, and then I lamented that I was curious, bought me a copy, and then it went on sale on all digital storefronts, $5 on Steam, $5 on Switch, and so basically our entire group chat started playing it and then posting about it on Blue Sky, and then other people we know on Blue Sky, other content creators and journalists also started buying it and started playing it. Troidal Power is playing it as we speak. Like, it just kind of spread like wildfire to the point where people like tangentially connected to each of us were posting about how they bought the game or why people are talking about Digimon so much in the year of our Lord 2025. And it was very funny. And so I've been playing it and really loving it. Basically, it's a mix between Pokemon and Persona. It's got part visual novel, part monster catcher, part turn-based RPG. I'm really enjoying it. You're basically a character. The basic premise is you end up going into cyberspace to learn some things, hang out with some folks, and something goes wrong, and you get shunted back to physical space like a digital shell of yourself. Like, for whatever reason, your physical body has fallen into a coma. And so you partner up with a detective at a private investigation agency as a junior cyber sleuth to help solve some like occult mysteries around cyberspace, and then end up also building to find out why you were shunted out of the digital space like this and how you can get your body back. It's really interesting, and like the combat mechanics are pretty rote. It's a lot of just attack or special attack. But like the digivolving and de-digivolving of the different Digimon is really interesting. How you curate the monster catching is really interesting. And the narrative is written really well. It's your typical anime bullshit story, but like I think really written really well. The characters are fun. There's a fair amount of comedy as well. It feels like what I've always wanted from a Digimon game. And most importantly, like I grew up again watching Digimon, Agumon Supremacy. Agumon is the best, along with his entire line. And I got Agumon pretty early, but I also got to pick other Digimon that I remembered from the cartoons that I loved. And now I'm running around with them in my party. And it feels very nostalgic in a healthy, fun way. and has been really fun to dive into. I'm on chapter 6. I think I'm about a quarter of the way through the game. And my plan is to finish it before Time Stranger, but even if I don't, I'm going to buy Time Stranger because I'm really enjoying my time with this. I'm playing it on the Switch too, which I'm really happy with so far. And like people know, if they know me, I love to play handheld RPGs. Like I like to lay on my couch with my Switch in handheld mode playing RPGs. It's how I played and finished Persona 5 Royal over the course of a year. It's how I played Sea of Stars handheld on my Steam Deck. Like I love playing RPGs handheld, and there's just something that feels so cozy about playing this game, about a franchise that I loved growing up that I hadn't experienced in a while, on a device that like exudes comfort for me. And so it's been really fun to dive into that. And if you liked Digimon at any point, it's worth jumping into. If you didn't, this does not connect to any of the cartoons or movies. It's a separate story. They explain to you what Digimon are. The player character that you play as has never seen a Digimon until you see one for the first time. So like, even if you have no base level knowledge of the franchise, it's also a great place to jump in because they basically tell you the basics, and then there's a narrative separate from other narratives to jump into. Kind of the way every mainline Pokemon game is its own story that maybe references other things that have been the other games, but for the most part is its own story. This game is the same, and so it's never been cheaper to buy. It's a lot of fun. It runs great on the Switch 2 or the Switch 1. It's on all of the platforms, I think PS4 and Xbox Series X as well, and then the modern ones, PS5 and Series S and X or whatever they're called. So definitely worth checking out if you have any passing curiosity and enjoy a good like mystery story.
Okay, and that's it for today's episode. What are we going to do next time?
Yeah, we're moving on to the mission A Bitter Pill. It's Fenris's next section in his companion quest. I'm sure this will be full of joy, smiles, and laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing deep and dark here.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, if you want to play along with us, do that mission, and we will see you in the next episode. But let's go over some housekeeping stuff and get on out of here.
So if you like what you heard here, you can follow us on social media. We're at ReignitePod on Blue Sky, YouTube, and Instagram, or you can send us an email at reignitepod@gmail.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky as Frankie B. Writes and DJ Stormageddon. I am also somewhat active on Threads as Frankie B. Writes.
I am not, in case you were wondering. You
I
can
follow
rate
some people there.
Yeah, when I found out that if you make a Threads account, you can then never deactivate your Threads account unless you deactivate your Instagram account. Like it's
Weird.
tied to your Instagram account permanently because it's the same thing. And so I didn't want another account that I may not want later. Anyway,
Okay, fair.
neither here nor there.
Continue.
You can rate and review and subscribe on your favorite podcatcher. It helps us get seen so other people can find us. Whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, typically they have some kind of rating or review system or both. It really helps. I know it sounds cheesy and every podcaster says this, but like if you go and rate and review the pod, it really does help push it up in the algorithm for other people to find this podcast and listen. And we are grateful for every new audience member we gain. We love talking about all of the stuff that we do here with our community. We have one of the best communities in podcasting, bar none. And so we're grateful when we get to grow this organically and bring more people in who want to talk about romance and fantasy video games. So please do that for us.
And don't forget, we're members of the Certain Point of View Network. You can visit certainpov.com to find more nerdy podcasts, each with a unique point of view. You can also find a permanent invite link to our Discord server on the website, so you can join in the conversation.
As for plugs, I continue to work on this podcast, which you're already aware of, and
And
Fun
if
and
you're
Games.
not, that's weird.
It is weird. I also work on Fun and Games with the incredible Jeff Moonen. It is a general topic-based podcast regarding video games. We talk about different genres. We do retrospectives on consoles, have guests talk about the games they develop, all sorts of cool stuff. We also have a Patreon for that podcast, which has a free tier. At the free tier, you can read stuff like articles I've been writing every month since January. I've reviewed a new indie game every month. It's been a lot of fun to flex my writing muscle. My most recent one, as of this recording, was right near the end of June on Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. It is a top-down Zelda-like game with pixel art that has Metroidvania elements for traversal and puzzle solving. It was really a lot of fun, really quirky story about capitalism, and who doesn't love stories about capitalism? But it's definitely worth your time to check out. And if you want my basically spoiler-free review, you can go to patreon.com/funandgamespod and join. That's actually, so my articles are free for everyone. Whether you join or not, you can read my articles. But if you join at the free tier, you'll get notified when I put out those articles. There's also a bunch of paid tiers, which are great if you want to support the podcast that way. If you enjoy this show and you aren't listening to Fun and Games, I really think you will enjoy it. So you should definitely go check it out.
Second. As for me, I'm working on a website where you can find all the podcasts I've done, including a new one that I'm working on, tentatively called End Papers. We'll see how that goes. You'll also find direct links to purchase the 2 anthologies I've been published in, Caught Alight and Writing from the Heart, which are currently available on Amazon.
Go buy those things and then post a review specifically saying how awesome Frankie's work is in that. Nobody else's.
Yes, and then also send me $1 on PayPal at Frankie
Exactly.
Writes.
Exactly.
Because I make no money off of these books.
We'd, of course, like to thank Case Aiken for developing some awesome t-shirt designs, which you can find at certainpov.com or on the Teespring of Certain POV. And also, as always, thank you, Case, for designing each episode's artwork. I've gotten some really great screenshots per the companion quests, and he has made some phenomenal show art out of them, and I'm super grateful for that. So thank you, as always, to Case.
Case is also just a really nice person.
Yes.
If you're not on our Discord, then you don't know that somebody stole my laptop recently, and while I was freaking out about it, Case messaged me to say, hey, I want to help you. How much money can I send you?
That's so kind.
And, Case is wonderful and sweet, and I adore him greatly. Fortunately, I got my laptop back. Unfortunately, it was my roommate who stole it. So,
yeah.
We're doing great over here. Maybe send me $2.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Anyway, thank you to Miracle of Sound for our theme music. We love it a lot, and we hope you love it too.
Yes, Ben in the Discord server, who we mentioned before, also commented on how awesome this theme music is. So, Ben, if you're listening now and have not yet gone to download basically all of Miracle of Sound's discography, you should, because they do tons of really awesome video game music. I want to thank Red Spinks for our Dragon Age-inspired logo. To see more of his work, you can go to Chaos Does Art on Instagram.
And lastly, we'd like to thank you for listening. I'm Frankie.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
And remember, all Templars are bastards.
Fight for your values and fight for your friends. Fight through this fight, find the light at the end. Through the age of the dragon, the people will talk of the day they were saved by a hero named Hawk. Hawk, 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 Hawk.
Do you have a gaming subscription service like Xbox Game Pass or a crazy backlog and don't know what to play next? Well, 1H1D might be for you. Join me, Chris, and my college buddy Tom as we play a random game or a requested game for an hour and decide if it's worth playing past that hour. We go over the good, the bad, and maybe some little tidbits about the development you might not have known. Got 30 minutes? Give us a try, and if you like it, throw us a 5-star review. Try something new. You never know what might be your next favorite game.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.